This is the US Army's secret game, and technically speaking, you shouldn't even be allowed to see this footage, because to use, perform, display, or disclose the software relating to VBS2 are restricted. Access and use of this software is limited to authorized users. So what is VBS2? And who are those authorized users? Well, VBS2 stands for Virtual Battlespace 2, which runs off the Arma engine. Interestingly, they're both made by Bohemia Interactive, but Bohemia Interactive Simulations, now owned by BAE Systems, is an entirely separate company that makes these war simulation games for the US Army and other Western militaries. And that's what this is. It's meant internally for military use only, which is why to normally access this game, you need something like a common access card. But I do not have a common access card, nor am I competent in any military tactics whatsoever, besides my masterful skills at Battlefield 6. God damn it!
I'm sure you'll do your country proud tomorrow morning when you're all shipped off to Iraq.
Starting our mission, I'm given a Humvee and a squad of men, which is a terrible decision because I don't know the controls yet and I immediately drive us into a wall. Fortunately, after I figure out how to get out of my Humvee, it gives me a moment to decipher what the hell I'm doing. I start giving out random orders and pressing random buttons, hoping that something happens, before I slowly realize that if I check my map, there is actually an objective. And the only reason I figured this out was because the text at the bottom says I have incoming fighters, but no one showed up. So I imagine the other squads were waiting for backup while I was dicking around trying to get a thumbnail. So I restarted the mission because I couldn't figure out how to get people back in their Humvees, and I also think I missed my cue, but I drove to the right spot this time. Arriving at the checkpoint, our mission objective is to capture an insurgent leader. It looks like we have a couple of minutes before the attack commences, so I think back to when I was in JROTC and start locking in. I soon realized why when the army recruiter tries to bribe you with Chipotle, you should say no, because the Dodge Charger isn't worth it. Because right now, I'm pinned down behind a van as my men drop one by one. So I try my hand at shooting back, but since I'm roleplaying as an American soldier, I accidentally shoot one of our teammates because they're brown and I failed a mission. Technically, since I'm not supposed to have this game, some of the missions don't work, so I click on missions at random, just looking to play whatever starts loading. And like a chronic gambler, I got a hit, but unfortunately this mission doesn't have AI. But that's no problem since I just kind of wanted to see what it is. We spawn in as a insurgent, and I start taking a look around. Interestingly, there is a 5-minute remaining timer, and this is of course a multiplayer game. So I'm thinking the army sets up LAN servers and they have like Call of Duty sessions playing this game. But of course, since there's nothing here, I exited out to try a different mission, which turns out to be the best decision I made so far. Because like the game insists, you'll need to prepare yourself, because this map is called Base Defense. And there's a cool intro because this fuel truck drives up to our base and explodes. So we're expecting an attack, but that's before I notice this tank. And because I'm somewhere on the spectrum, it takes all my attention and I'm desperate to get it working. For some reason though, the game really wants to stomp on my fun because I can't get it to shoot, which sucks because tanks are literally big fun toys for adults and I want to shoot rockets, goddammit. But it's okay because you can bet your ass that I'm gonna get this tank working. However, the more immediate problem is that when I exited the tank, I was stuck in third person for some reason. Of course, I was pretty confused, which ended up getting me shot, so I checked my key bindings to see what the third person button was, and I found it. But by the time I could actually see what I'm doing, I can only move around like Stephen Hawking without his wheelchair, or a dog when they really need to scratch their ass. So on a score of 1 to 10 on operational effectiveness, I'm pretty much at a 0 right now. And since I can't do much else, I crawl up to the front line and sacrifice myself in the name of freedom. Hey guys, this is just a quick reminder that I put a lot of effort into my videos. And since I'm a small channel, subscribing really does help. Plus I have a Discord server and you could just like talk to me. Link in description.
I'll take a double triple McFatty burger with chalky milk.
Oh, what the fuck is that? We don't have that. This is McDonald's, sir.
What the fuck? Where's my chalky milk?
Okay, so you guys know how I said that some of the missions don't work? Well, while doing some research, I stumbled upon a repository of some of the content that I'm missing. Now, through experimenting, I found out it doesn't make every mission work, but I was super happy to find out that it did get one mission I really wanted to play working. Striker Defense. So, I didn't know what I was expecting, but I kind of thought I was going to be able to drive a striker. But nope, it's broken down and we just have to defend it. But at least I did learn something huge. The tilde key allows me to command the entire group, which is fantastic because so far I've been ordering soldiers one by one. And with my newfound power, I was trying to figure out what some of the other commands actually do. I felt it would be really cool if I could get my squad to actually be tactical, because honestly, I am into war games, and it would be a huge improvement if I can actually move people around. And the game kinda implies it's possible because there's a list of different squad formations. So I tested it out by trying the Delta formation, and I was expecting something cool to happen, but instead my soldiers started crawling around on the ground like a bunch of worms. And it was really weird to watch, actually. It felt really unnatural and kinda unsettling. And since my teammates are kinda... When the bad guys do arrive, I'm basically the only one doing anything, so of course I get sniped. I immediately restart the mission because I'm not a quitter, and this time I don't hit the Delta formation. But it doesn't really seem to matter because I think these soldiers got issued involuntary lobotomies, since they don't seem all there if I'm gonna be honest. And then I realize it's not just them, it's actually the whole world that's had a lobotomy. What is going on with the traffic? I don't think that's very realistic. Jokes aside, I really do like this tunnel vision effect, I just kinda wanted to mention that. Sometimes I forget that this is a literal training sim for combat. And just like real life combat, I'm shot before I can shoot back. But this time I lasted 6 minutes compared to my last game's 3 minutes, so I feel like this is an accomplishment.
Look at that subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful thickness of it.
So all the campaign missions just wouldn't work. Despite loading, it would actually crash the game. That is, except for one. Chinook Rescue. Now, since this is a campaign mission, for once the weight of commanding 40 grown men was not in my hands, because I wasn't in command this time. So I was really curious to see if the AI would actually act any smarter, and do something maybe a little more military in the military training sim. So to find out, I followed my teammates into battle until I started hearing gunshots ring out. And yeah, this isn't anything tactical. In fact, it feels more like Battlefield. I mean, the graphics look like Battlefield 2 if anyone remembers that, so I can't say it wasn't fun, but I was essentially just shooting people and taking cover. That is, until I died. And just to remind every 18-year-old enlistee playing this game in a barracks, Barbara Bush tells them that war is not nice. Also, this has nothing to do with the mission, but I just kind of wanted to mention, when I was looking for music to like put in the background, I came across this comment. I'm British, and I fly the CSH flag in my garden. Jesus Christ. Well, anyways, I loaded up a new mission, and holy macaroni pastaroni, do mine eyes deceive me? Well, if it isn't a drivable striker. Where? Wait, I have no units. So I quickly restarted to find out that the mission just doesn't have AI teammates. But that's okay, because nothing's gonna stop me from driving my dream car. That's right, some people wish for a Lamborghini, some wish for a GTR, but I wish to own an M1126 Striker infantry carrier vehicle. Please God, let me. Anyways, so I drive around in my dream car, generally towards the objective, while simultaneously crashing a few times because the Striker's really hard to drive. But I did eventually make it to the objective, but apparently the bad guys knew my birthday was in a month and decided to give me an early surprise with an RPG. But like I said, nothing will deter me from driving my dream car. So I quickly restart. This time, however, I was curious if I could actually control the gun up top. And it turns out I can, with the spacebar. What a wonderful thing to find out, because that's so goddamn awesome. To test my newfound love for the 50 caliber, I headed back to the objective. Only they prepared me a different present this time round, which was a bullet to my frontal lobe. Despite dying, this whole newfound power of the spacebar gave me an idea. So I went back to that Striker defense mission and wondered if I could get an even higher time by sitting in the Striker and using the 50 cal. Now, to be fair, this did work, but I wouldn't say I had the best view. In first person, for some reason, my gun just doesn't work. And in third person, I couldn't see shit. But at least my gun was functioning. And that's all I really wanted. So yeah, I just kind of sat there with my 50 cal shooting at what I couldn't see until I died. 5 minutes was my time, by the way. Anyways, this all doesn't really matter because it gave me an even more brilliant, devious idea. You remember that tank? Well, the spacebar specifically activates weapons, so, you know, putting 2 and 2 together, I thought to myself, are my dreams about to come true? Well, I told all of you that you could bet your ass that I would get this tank working, because I got the damn tank working, bitches! The rockets are a bit buggy, though. For some reason, it shoots myself. I mean, I created a crater underneath the tank, so I wasn't gonna use the rockets in fear that I might blow myself up. And yes, I can't actually shoot anything with the main gun because of these piece of shit walls, man. I don't care. Technically, the gun works, and you know, that's all I really need to be happy in life.